In today's video, we're going to be going over a very important statistical setup that does give price probabilities as well as timing probabilities for the next couple weeks here for Bitcoin in terms of what to expect for upside or downside. But first and foremost, in order to get into the right mentality for this particular setup, we must consult with our instant financial abundance advisor over here, and I will let him take it away from this moment.
Kindly appreciate it if you like this video and subscribe to this channel, as it helps to reach more people. Therefore, I'm helping to heal more people, and to turn on bell notifications so you don't miss future uploads from me. All you need to do from here is simply nod or say I accept to receive this healing today.
I accept.
Without further ado, let's get into it.
I accept. Give it to me now. Now. I want the financial abundances right now. And you know what? We'll go over into the chart view here, and we'll go over a nice little daily setup, which is based off of a very pertinent idea, in this case, the moons. We're going to be moon traders in this case, as we have back tested this idea actually throughout the full history of Bitcoin, although the current back test that I'm showing right here is back tested from the beginning of 2016 till current times. The reason why I decided to include this particular date is because pre-2016, there are some pretty far crazy outliers, which was, presenting some pretty, some pretty amazing results, but I don't think it's that, that relevant. Anyways, in this case, since 2016, this one's fired off 74 times. For the bull moon closing on the bear moon, very, very simple setup. And over 60% of these have actually been profitable. And you can even see that despite having, I would say modest hit rate, ultimately, the net profit over time, the equity curve continues to go up and to the right as the losses are not looking too severe here. And this is an incredibly simplistic setup. It is literally just longing or buying on the, I think it is full moon, and selling on the new moon, or whichever one whichever moon this is here on the bottom, whichever moon this is here on the top. Now, I have decided to omit, for the purposes of this back test, a couple of days. That would be 1 Monday and 2 Thursday, because those do decrease the results a little bit, not a whole hell of a lot, but somewhat. And we can see that this next moon is actually going to be coming on tonight, so that will be Wednesday, or it'll count as a Wednesday moon. So likely does play within the realm of these statistics. So in this case, we go to the performance summary, we blow it up right here, and I remove my face. You can actually see that the average winning trade was just under 15%. The average losing trade at about 6. Holy shit, the devil's involved in this one too. That's fucking crazy. But obviously that is why long term, it has been generally profitable. The average losing trade being significantly less than the average winning trade, alongside a slightly better than 50% strike rate, is going to have good results long term. Again, in a more serious tone, I do want to say, I really do want to say, I know that this, for whatever reason, this is incredibly polarizing, but you know what? We're just going to consult with our Reiki Master over here, and he will show us the way. This is the way to get financial abundance. We have to accept it is our birthright. It is what we deserve, and that is in the form of moons. The universe has shown us. And it's really unfortunate that many people just don't know about this trick, to be honest with you. There's starving kids in Africa and people with terminal illnesses, cancer, shit like that. Sorry, I guess I just didn't know. But in this case, I do want to go back to the actual chart view and blow things up over here. So if we know that the average winning trade is basically 15% and the average losing trade is about 6.5%, we can come up with a bit of a range if this one does work out, and also if this one does fail. So coming in, and assuming that today closes somewhere around 70,000 bucks. So I am taking a little bit of a liberty right there. Obviously today's closure will influence that, but I expect that today is probably not going to be a huge day either way. About 15% to the upside does put Bitcoin at 80,000 bucks. And 6% to the downside would put Bitcoin about 65,500 bucks. And because this does have an obvious closing date, that would be 14 or 15 days from today, which would put us into the end of the first week of June. So basically 2 weeks, maybe 15 days from now is when this one does close. And so we could say that in 15 days from now, we can expect Bitcoin to either be closer to 80,000 bucks or back down around 65 or 66,000 bucks. Now, in alignment with the See, I'm using the terms now. In conjunction with the setups that we've been sharing over the past few days here, the upside I do still believe is more likely, but this now gives a lower end of that date range possibility that would suggest 80,000 within basically 2 weeks from today, or 2 weeks from tomorrow, I suppose. Anyways, enough of that. Let's get into some less important stuff. Stuff that's based on other hard data or other hard numbers. We go back on over here. And I want to present to you the HPAS, the historical price action statistics spreadsheet here, which actually has even much more functionality than this. But in its current format, I do want to show just the daily range. So that's my big focus on something like this. Obviously, there's many other ways to use this, but Wednesday is obviously today, and we can see that the average percentage gain on Wednesday is actually it's among the highest, about 3.75%. Average gain for positive closing Wednesdays. This again being measured since January 1st of 2023 when this bull market did start, and the average losing Wednesday. So if Wednesday closes negatively, we typically see it lose an average of about 2.75%. So again, going back on over here and just kind of plotting out the daily range, similar to how we did yesterday, which actually yesterday's played out incredibly well as well. We can see from today's open. What was it? Was it 3.75%? I think it was 3.75% to the upside would actually put Bitcoin on new highs on this rally, 72,600 or so. Let me just double check on that. Was that right? Yeah. 3.75. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Wow. Very interesting actually right there. I was not expecting to see it that big. Anyways, in about 2.77% to the downside. So let's see what that would create as far as a downside range. 277. That put Bitcoin, basically back down around $68,000. $68,000, as we'll go over a little bit later in this video, is a very, very important area, at least in the way that I look at things as of right now. As if Bitcoin were to go back down below there and close a daily below there, I would say that Bitcoin's in for a daily correction here first, before any sort of potential upside continuation. So kind of just draw out this current phase. Anyways, moving on from there, we should go into this chart. Once again, referencing the trend wave catalyst, we do see that on the weekly, Bitcoin did trade back above that last sort of swing high from mid-April or so at 67,500. That was a big one that we were looking at on this channel. While it has sold off a little bit from retesting prior highs, all-time highs in Bitcoin's case. Ultimately, this does seem like it is in the transition period of going from, slight downtrend to uptrend. Obviously, needs a higher low. Any sort of a higher low above, $56,500 will do it. So the question is, does Bitcoin put in a local high here, come down, set in a higher low, in like the mid 60s, and then try to the upside? Or does Bitcoin push through here, then come down later, maybe after hitting $80,000, set in a higher low on the weekly time frame then, and then potentially, carry on from there? That's a real question that I'm looking at as of right now. For me, the only way to get like full on like super bearish would be if Bitcoin came back down below about 60 or 61,000 bucks. Short term, I'd just be looking for a greater correction first if Bitcoin did come back down below 68,000 bucks. I should also be aware, or maybe aware you, that the monthly, with I guess about a week left of trading. Let me just double check. A little bit more than a week left of trading. Friday will be 1 week away. Is very close to putting in a bullish engulfing dildo, which is very important, as the name would imply. Just needs to trade and close above last month's high. Anywhere above 72,750 would be phenomenally obvious for continuation. I mean, continuation like in a big way, in like a big trending way. So that would kind of play hand in hand with, again, all of those setups that we've looked at. So, I am leaning more towards that happening. But of course, if you start to see Bitcoin closing dailies below 68,000 bucks, I'd say that would essentially invalidate that particular idea, and I'd be expecting correction first. But for now, still most things point higher, and led by Ethereum actually too, which maybe we do a video on tomorrow. Anyways, moving on from there, HPDR bands on the daily. What do we have here? Bit of a reset. Does Bitcoin come back down and test around that $68,000 number? Maybe. Again, that's the big focus right here. Other than that, not really getting a whole hell of a lot from the daily. It's actually the weekly and the 5-day where everything's going on. And the weekly, as we went over on yesterday's video for CME, or no, was it the 5-day? Must have been the 5-day, yeah. We did see that test up to the median right there. You know, still got another day and a half left on this one. If Bitcoin were to close above that median, yes, I would be expecting significantly, you know, further upside. Again, that would be another very obvious indication for a move, you know, probably to 80,000, maybe low 80,000s. And the median currently is 71,350 or so. So 71,350, you know, about, I don't know, $1,300 away from current price action on CME. Keep in mind that there is a few $100 premium on over spot price action. So that one doesn't close tonight, closes tomorrow night. So if we do see Bitcoin back above that level, that would be the next sort of, I guess, obvious short-term thing that would indicate continuation sooner rather than later. Again, low $80,000, probably within, you know, the next couple of weeks here, like very, very early June. Anyways, moving on from there, anything to be aware of here on our stochastic momentum. Daily time frame is getting into the critical zone. So that is why I do say, you know, if Bitcoin does start to drop back down to below 68, you know, we are in for correction here because this is starting to get extreme, but it can stay there for a while, especially when we do reference that the 2-day time frame, you know, is plenty of room here. Again, did bounce almost perfectly off of that trendline regression that we drew out from the last few major lows going all the way back to August. So that one's still playing out. 3-day time frame is going to be the same thing, I do believe as well. Yeah, about freshly crossing up. Yeah, as of tonight's closure, as long as Bitcoin's above 59,420, great number right there. 5-day time frame also going to be crossing the upside, assuming Bitcoin remains above basically $69,000 by tomorrow night's closure. And then the weekly, I think the same shit as well. Actually a little bit lower than that, 68,500. So you can see kind of the relevancy of that number. But you know, I suppose tomorrow's closure will tell on that one, and we can get, you know, more clarity on whether this is more likely to bust on through right now and we can claim our instant financial abundances, or if we, you know, have to wait. So I think on that note, I'll leave things right there. We will continue to receive our universal message for abundance here. I'm feeling I'm feeling it, man. Oh man, I'm feeling it. Wow. That is he's really good. He's really good.
Ariel, to shift on through to you, to shift you into a higher vibrational frequency so you can attract more abundance into your life.
And with that, I'll end things. Wishing you the best as always, and as always, as much financial abundance as possible. Take care and much love.